GPS in the junior tournament. And let's go look at the disappointment of those Celtic players. Let's join our man there, Thomas Kane.
Welcome to Limerick Valley, where Rangers have just had an opportunity. It's the first chance of the game. We'll run through the teams in a moment after that thrilling encounter in Coleraine. Skids off the boot of McAnally. 4 minutes played here. Let's look at the two teams. We'll start with Rangers. In goal is McConnell, the back four of Harkness, the Ewan twins and Lovey. McAnally and Strachan will anchor the midfield with Dunlop, Allen and Lindsay slightly further forward just behind Mbube. We'll look at Global Premier Soccer in a second, but it's been fairly relentless from Rangers. What a game at Coleraine. Coleraine witnessing an absolute thriller. County Tyrone edging out Celtic 4-3. Will there be drama with another Glasgow club here in Limerick Valley? Twisting and turning, and Mbube is the intended target. Global Premier Soccer doing just enough to clear, but only momentarily. You sense that they're going to have to soak up some of this early pressure. Love it. And that ball's going to tamely go out, so that'll give us time. Well, it's actually in the hands of the goalkeeper, so next opportunity we have, we'll run through the Global Premier Soccer team. As Stafford clears. Looks like it's going to fall nicely for Harkness. And another touch for Stafford. So just over 5 minutes played here. Stafford went long and it is broken up in midfield by Strachan. Love it. Ran out of space. And it's left for Dutra to take. He's the captain of Global Premier Soccer. We're going to have a Rangers free kick. And here is the Global Premier Soccer team with Stafford goals, Dutra, Vera, Monica and Ross at the back, Silvera and Brunnemann in midfield, just behind Banks, Egan, Quaggle and Puyos up top by himself. But it looks like it's going to be the GPS defence here. Going to have to do a little bit of work here as Rangers go on the attack. Super play by Lindsay. He's a local boy from Belfast, and he wants to impress in front of, I'm sure, many of his family members and home crowd. Charlie Lindsay. Well read by Harkness, who stood out even in these early stages from right back. Picked up by Puyos. Love it. Finds Lindsay once more, twisting and turning, so comfortable on the ball. Lindsay tries to find the Rangers man in the middle, and Mbube. And Mbube has to be happy with the corner kick. All the defending has certainly been done so far by Global Premier Soccer. There's the referee hoping for a quiet evening here in Limerick Valley. Lindsay. Well, you see who's trying with the run up from midfield from Strachan. He shifts it towards the captain Ewan. Back to Strachan again, lifted into the middle, and that should be cleared by GPS. Allen beaten to it, so it's lifted forward. Nice turn from the diminutive GPS player. I think it was Banks who skipped past a couple. One back though by Dutra, showing leadership. He's been handed the captain's armband. Lindsay tries to utilise the pace of Mbude, and there's certainly plenty of pace there. On this occasion just ran out of round, but he is certainly the main attacking threat. From a Rangers perspective, it could be through on goal here. Allen got there first, brave defending though. I think it was from Dutra. Possession given away cheaply, nicely threaded ball through, and a combination of the goalkeeper and Brunnemann denied Rangers. Corner kick's going to be taken again. Lindsay. Really happy with his early contributions. And that will entail another corner kick. It was Allen who was powering through from midfield, didn't do too much wrong. It was a brilliant challenge from Brunnemann. The goalkeeper quickly off his line too. So while Rangers have had the bulk of possession, they have yet to really threaten. Can they do so from this corner kick? Shots blocked down from Dunlop, and anywhere will do for Egan. He gets it away. Just waiting for the ball to make its way across. Plenty of goals throughout today's action on the North Coast. We're anticipating more this evening, and Rangers are going to have a chance to cause problems with this free kick. It was a mistimed challenge after decent play. Initially, McAnally was caught. He looks to be okay, and it's going to be left for Lindsay to take. He's certainly feeling that. It was a robust challenge on the youngster. To his credit, bunched up very quickly and didn't complain about things. Plenty of consultation going on there. But after all, that's going to be Lindsay to take. Actually, it was whipped in instead. A well-worked opportunity. It looked as if it was going to be Lindsay then. The last minute, Dunlop swung it in with his left foot, and after being part of the initial conversation, and Mbude had made the run, tried to sneak in and wasn't far away from making a connection. Away. The back towards Dutra. Dutra inside. Fights Banks. And he's won himself a free kick. Banks isn't the biggest player in the pitch, but he certainly makes up for that in terms of skill. And Mbude at the other end, trying to latch on to that Dunlop free kick. Brian Gilmore, the Rangers manager, just asking a couple of the substitutes to warm up. Would be very early stages. I assume it's just a precautionary thing to make sure after the challenge on McNally, in case McAnally's moving a little bit gingerly after the challenge, but Harkness is certainly hammering in. Here is McAnally. He's been caught with another one. That's two quick-fire challenges that have resulted in free kicks. So McAnally certainly putting himself about in the early stages, and as I say, he's not the biggest fella. Picked up by Pujals. Pujals skips past one and That was good strength from Ewan, Kelsey Ewan on this occasion. Identical twins playing at the back for Rangers, Kelsey Ewan and Harley Ewan, number 5 and number 6. There's Kelsey. And McAnally's evening may well be over. Caught twice. In the early stages of this one, and this evening may well be over. Yeah. His evening's definitely over. It's unfortunate because McAnally looked like a real handful in the early stages, got on the ball quite a bit, playing in that central midfield role, just seemed to be struggling after the initial challenge. Didn't stop him from putting himself about, and well, there is the switch coming up. Very different type of player, certainly physically anyway. On comes Robbie Ure. Wonder will that change the formation at all? As Ewan plays it towards Midbooty. A bit of skill from him, yeah, it does look as if Ure has moved slightly further forward than McAnally. As GPS try and break. For all their possession and a couple of half chances, Rangers haven't really troubled the goalkeeper so far. Just over a quarter of an hour play. And Booty. A little bit deeper than we've seen him so far. Allen forced to go back as far as Ewan. Rather fortunate from Strachan, though. He was almost caught in possession. Back with Midbooty once again. Decent turn from Ure. No real options in the middle. Slowly Dunlop's making his way in there. He goes down. Referee says it's going to be a goal kick. So just over a quarter of an hour play. There's another look at the Dunlop challenge. As Rangers go oh so close to breaking the deadlock. Happened in an instant. It fell to the substitute Ure, who saw his effort cannon off the upright. Back with Ewan. It's been a feature of the competition so far that goalkeepers have been playing it short, and as a result, opposition sides have been piling on the pressure, and that was another example. So it's Harkness inside the Dunlop, nicely worked, good play by Lindsay. Ure really should have broken the deadlock. He's only on the field a minute or so. Lindsay was unselfish. Ure sees his effort bounce off the woodwork. Closest either side have come to a goal so far. It's a lovely flowing move from Rangers. There's Lindsay. Overhits a free kick. So it was straight from a goal kick and arrived with Harkness. It shifted across Dunlop and then Lindsay. Ure was the final person on the end of the move, and he really should have finished it off in style. There'll be a confidence boost as well to Rangers. The fact that they were able to pick the lock at the back of GPS so comprehensively. The American side haven't really found their flow, though They could well create an opportunity now. Quickly across was Harley Ewan. Still with the American side. Dutra's up from the back. Now it's Banks and it's picked up by Lindsay. Dunlop's alongside him. He trying to shift it out as far as Muir. Here is Ur again. Patient build up. Lindsay on his right foot, blocked by the defender. GPS have soaked up so much pressure. Brunnemann tries to settle things. He finds himself under pressure, so it's in situations like this, it's almost a case of getting rid of it as soon as possible. It's worked out on this occasion. As Coagle was trying to find a way through the middle. It was a late challenge coming in as it was lifted forward by Egan, so that's resulted in the GPS free kick and an opportunity to try and threaten McConnell's goal. On the halfway line. Lifted forward. A little bit of pinball in the area. Danger still not away. It was taken early by Pujols. Easy take for McConnell, but good idea from the striker, and it's certainly the closest that GPS have come to a goal so far. Nice play by Rangers. Picked up by Strachan, who was a little bit hesitant on the ball. That hesitancy was almost taken advantage of. Minutes played, both sides of it. Opportunities, although Glasgow have certainly looked the more threatening side. Sorry, Glasgow Rangers certainly looked the more threatening side. Nice little flick towards Lovett. Hasn't had quite the opportunity to power forward quite as much as he did in the early stages. Egan. All got a little bit scrappy, and it's an attempted pass which is cut out only as far as Puyol. This is better from GPS. Committing men forward. Harkness always looked very comfortable at right back. Coagle over the top. But Global Premier Soccer is starting to come into the game a little bit more as it progresses. We're a little bit nervy early on. Maybury hasn't had quite the same influence as he did previously. Plenty of supporters at Scroggy Road for this one. Obviously, Rangers have a huge support here. Local fans delighted to see them in action on home turf. As Ure got there ahead of the goalkeeper, who then turned his back, and it's fallen nicely for Lindsay. Danger still not away. GPS at 6s and 7s in defence. Somehow they lash it clear. There's another opportunity for Ure. And Stafford did brilliantly initially to come off his line, close down the striker, get a hand to it, but at that point he almost thought the job was done and started to retreat. So two opportunities for Robbie Ure, the substitute already. First one he hit the upright, second one denied by Stafford. No goals, but highly entertaining here at Scroggy Road in Limavady. It's been a great day of action here. All started off with the encounter between Valencia and Strikers early on. Then came a little bit of a shock as Rangers go on the attack, and it's broken up by Vera. Another look at the chance. Well, it was a lovely clip ball over the top. Your time to run perfectly. The goalkeeper, I think, thought the ball had travelled overhead. Then there was a little bit of confusion, and GPS survived. But yes, in the second game here, Charlton overcoming Manchester United. And then a thriller at the showgrounds. County Tyrone edging out Celtic in a thrilling 4-3 match. Still scoreless here at Scroggy Road. Goal kick taken short by Stafford, and the left back was a little bit too hesitant because that enabled Ure to come in and pickpocket him, and suddenly GPS are under immense pressure when they really didn't have to be. Ure quickly closed down. Banks. Booyah. Back with the captain, Ure. Rangers certainly look like they're settling again. Rangers go into this game knowing that a victory would be enough to secure a semi-final spot. Should they win, a draw might be enough, but they'll want to make sure. Picked up by Strachan. Bude playing a little bit deeper than he started the game, and as a result hasn't had quite the same impact. But there's still plenty of time remaining. Good challenge by Ure. Forward towards Ure, who, if he gets past his man, could well be on his back. I think there was an accidental handball in the process of getting past his man, but now it's with Dunlop. Lindsay closed down, and here's another look at that opportunity for Ure from a different angle. It's a really good challenge actually in the follow up, and then a couple of players had to go. Allen was one of them, Lindsay another. But somehow, as Brian Gilmore will be aware, it's still scoreless. No shortage of chances for Rangers. On the face of things, they should be ahead, but we're almost at the half-hour mark, and it's still 0-0. Worked across as far as Harkness. Now it's Dunlop. On the right foot, managed to squeeze it through a couple of players, but it was an easy take for Stafford. Shifted forward. Can he find the net this time? Yes, he can. It was a defensive mix-up. Took full advantage. It's his third opportunity of the evening. Made no mistake and gives Rangers a lead. Coming up to the half-hour mark. It was Dunlop and Lindsay involved. I think the centre half realised that once Ure got goal side, GPS were always going to be in trouble. And so it proved. So advantage Rangers against GPS. How will the American side reply? Ewan. Will that goal enable Rangers to perhaps express themselves a little bit more? Will it bring out the best in GPS? We'll find out in first half injury time. Mabuda. Egan nipped in. Now it's Brunnemann. Good play from him to find Ross, who straight away was put under pressure. Risky passes. Lindsay closes down the goalkeeper. That will be that at half time here in Lima Valley. Just the one goal that came just before the first time interval. Thanks to Robbie Ure. At the break, it's Rangers 1, Global Premier Soccer 1. Well, the Scottish side have certainly created the better opportunities. That was Allen trying to nip in. Brilliant challenge by Brunnemann. But the distribution has been a problem. That was what led to the Allen chance. Decent ball in from Dunlop. Mabuda couldn't get there. Ure was introduced from the bench. They felt there was a decent shout for a penalty on that occasion, but once again a little bit hesitant. Harkness so quickly upon it. It was shifted across from right to left, and Ure was denied by the upright. Harkness, Dunlop, Lindsay all central to the move. Ure saw his effort, cannon off the upright. Same player was involved soon after. Good goalkeeping from Stafford. Lindsay on the follow-up. Allen also had a chance, but you just sensed that the goal was coming. GPS had to soak up so much pressure throughout the first half hour, and then just before half time this happened. Dunlop, Lindsay through to Ure. This time he did squeeze through, and he slotted it past the goalkeeper Stafford to give Rangers the advantage at the interval. Let's look back on some of the best action from this year's tournament this week.
On it, let's look back again and maybe just find themselves into a little bit of traffic here, but bobbled through Elliot Wood of Glentoran. Couldn't quite get a hold of it, and the mistake has led to a goal, and just like that, Antrim are ahead. That's a really good ball, and it could be two, and it is! Cole Curran. He's curled it around the wall and just milled by the keeper. He couldn't parry it away from trouble, and it's turned in by Brodie Spencer to make it 3-0 to County Antrim before the break. Shot keeper and has bobbled its way through and not been cleared at all well. Driven shot, it's caught him out and it's beaten him for number 4, Connor Skinnell. Driven it through, they've got a touch and it's another goal for Skinnell. Brilliant reactions and he affords a little smile this time as his teammates go and greet him. Wood seems to have pulled into a wider position. That cross has come in, it's been dropped. McConnell hasn't got a hold of it yet. It is going to be number 6. And he has added to his tally. Hat-trick yesterday. He's barely on the pitch and he scored again today. Callum Marshall, the Glentoran youngster. He's got on with it really quickly. Brilliant balance here. Chance for a strike and oh, it's a fine goal. Lovely goal. And once again, it is Callum Marshall.
Skipper, left foot, 1-0 County Down, and that's as good a penalty as you're likely to see. Callum McVeigh, the Linfield player, scores for County Down, 54 minutes gone.
Of the first half here, Rangers 1, GPS 0. Only goal of the game was just before half time, courtesy of Robbie Ewer, the substitute, the man you see in your shot. Could well be a switch at the break, just waiting for confirmation of that. Rangers have already been forced into making that one change. Well, it looks like it's actually going to be a change in goals. We'll keep you abreast of that change as it happens. Dutra. Still Dutra. Into the middle, great opportunity. It was Puyals in the middle, picked out brilliantly by Dutra. And it is going to be a switch for GPS. So, a change between the sticks for them. High hanging ball behind at the expense of another corner kick. So, another corner kick being taken on on the far side by Banks. Here it comes. It was Egan who got his head on it. A couple of appeals for a handball too. Not given by the official. And the GPS team just in behind. But that's all resulted in another corner kick. Here it comes. Probably the best period of pressure that GPS have had. Away as far as Dunlop. And it's the Rangers player charging forward, just about does enough, and the counter attacks well and truly on. Lindsay almost got there but could have an opportunity to get through now. It's fallen nicely for Allen. Flag was up on the far side, so it doesn't count. Well, it was real kamikaze defending at the back. Lindsay seemed to ricochet off him and into the path of the fellow Rangers player. Wouldn't have counted though. Picked up by Ewan. Back again with the Rangers captain. I get the impression that GPS have moved up a little bit. And just by moving up the pitch, they put a little bit more pressure on Rangers, but as a result, could well be vulnerable to the counter-attack. Good pressure from Allen. Yours in the middle. Still, Allen might go himself. Drags it just wide. Another glorious chance. They're starting to mount up for Rangers. Lifted forward by Egan. Lindsay shifts it back. Stafford, the goalkeeper, plays it short. Ewan. Back to McConnell again. Ewan once more. They put it. Good vision to pick out the run of Lindsay. He tries to link up with Strachan. And it's bowled out to Dutra, the right back. Been impressive, not just going forward, also at the back for GPS. As Ewan finds out. Nibude sees his pass cut out, and well, you could see what Pujols was trying to do. And the follow-up, Mojica wins a free kick. Pujols. This is better for GPS. Opportunity from distance. Super stop. It was brilliantly struck by Silvera and brilliantly stopped by McConnell at full stretch. Pujols played it inside by Egan. It was then shifted across to his teammate, and well, McConnell was at full stretch. That's a top class save from him, particularly when he hasn't had a lot to do, when he has been called into action. That's pretty impressive. Shifted across to Silveria, and just turn round the post. He'd be really happy with that stop. Europe moved inside. You get the impression that Rangers could be really troublesome on the counter attack. Europe. Still Europe. Flags up. Works out nicely for the GPS left back. Definitely starting to come into this game a little bit more. There's Ross trying to make headway as he pumps it forward and Dutra battles for it. It's going to be a free kick for Rangers after the challenge from Dutra on Lovey. Ewan is going to leave for the goalkeeper. It's Harley Ewan as opposed to Kelsey, who's been on the ball quite a bit. Strachan. Shifted across to Harkness. Still seems full of running. Back to Strachan. More fluid movement from Rangers. A couple of options in the middle. You're trying to find Lindsay. That's away. As far as Ewan got there just ahead of the GPS player. Ball bouncing about a little bit, all got a little bit scrappy. Cleaned up though by Ewan. Ewan. GPS not looking quite as convincing at the back, and it's going to be a free kick probably just outside shooting distance. A couple of defenders stretching forward, then it was picked up by Allen. He went down, and that's a long way out, this free kick. Looks like it's Lindsay who fancies it. He's one of two options there. Dunlop also lurking. Dunlop finds Harkness, driven in, but nobody was attacking the near post. Good vision from the goalkeeper, and then Lovey was quickly closing down his man, which retained possession for Rangers. Effort comes in from Mebude, and that'll be a corner kick. So after that purple patch early on in the second half, after the interval, Rangers seemed to have settled a little bit and started to take a little bit more control of this one. Two balls on the pitch, lifted into the middle. Now it's Allen. Allen back to goal. GPS just needing a lot outlet. It's hammered, looking for the run of Banks. goalkeeper was quickly off his line and read it well. Here is Lovett. This was always going to be a tight game between these two well organised sides. The crowd in the Valley haven't been treated as too many today. Obviously there were 8 in the first game, 7 for Valencia against the Strikers, 2-0 Charlton against Manchester United, just the 1 so far today from Europe. But there's going to be a Rangers corner kick coming up. A little bit of movement on the bench. A couple of changes for GPS. 14 and 11 coming on, so that's going to be Salles and Ennis coming on. Change as well for Rangers. So it's Salles, corner kick's going to be taken before the GPS substitutions are allowed to be made. So it's Ennis and Salles about to come on after this corner kick, or actually before the corner kick. We thought the referee was winning for the set piece to be taken, but Ennis and Salles make way, and Bube is off for Rangers, and they have made their second switch of the game. So eventually, after all that confusion, we're now going to have the corner kick from Lindsay. It was almost a corner kick that landed right on top of Ewan, only for the GPS defender to get the final touch. Harkness is going to come across to take the throw it. Here is Harkness. Nicely shifted across. Dunlop to Strachan. Yours run forward is stopped in his tracks, and I think the final touch may well have been off the Scottish player. That's going to result in another goal kick, but different tactic employed by the reserve goalkeeper, or sorry, the substitute goalkeeper. Newcastle have won in the Premier Division as it's lifted inside. 4-0 victory for Newcastle. So that means that after that 4-0 victory over FC Edmonton, they've qualified for the semi-finals. Lifted forward again by Strachan, and GPS need to find a little bit more of a bite up top. They've been very well organised, and after that little flurry at the start of the second half, they just maybe haven't had the quite the attacking opportunities they would have hoped for. So we think we've finalised the final 4 in the Premier section. We'll bring you those details very soon. Newcastle are in, so too County Antrim, right to dream. And Valencia, so impressive early on here. So they've all booked their places in the semi-finals. Will Rangers do the same? Rangers, of course, know that a victory would be enough to make it through the last 4. Celtic will be kicking themselves that They haven't made it through to the semi-finals after that last gasp defeat against County Tyrone. Sounds like a thrilling game at the Coleraine Showgrounds. It's been a little bit more workmanlike here, although Rangers have certainly produced their fair share of chances. Cut out by Harkness. Just over a quarter of an hour remaining, or sorry, just under a quarter of an hour remaining. So much organisation goes into a tournament like this. 3 matches back to back here on Scroggy Road. See them taking place at venues throughout the North Coast. Lovely bit of skill from Judger. He's looked very, very bright right from the word go. You understand why he's wearing the captain's armband for GPS. Simply outnumbered with nowhere to go, but he's managed to win it back, and he's also managed to win the throw-in. Couple of results: Arsenal 2-0 winners over Plymouth Argyle. Leeds defeated County Fermanagh 3-2, and as I just mentioned, Newcastle 4-0 winners over FC Edmonton. Goalkeeper doesn't mess about with this one. Hammers it clear. All one-way traffic. But a second Rangers goal will just ease a little bit of the lingering fear in this one. Lindsay's gone across to take the short corner kick. Works his way as far as Strachan. See what he was trying to do. Couple more changes coming up for GPS as they look for fresh legs. 3 more changes, I think. So there's number 5 is coming on. So number 5's on, number 12 I think is on, and number 15 is on. So 5, 12 and 15 introduced, I think. So that would mean that of the players that have been brought in, number 5 is Leo. Number 12 isn't Evan Stafford because he was the goalkeeper, but number 12 according to the team sheet is Stafford, and number 15 is Torres, Juan Torres. Swap coming up as well for Rangers. So off comes Lovey. It's actually going to be Dunlop. Dunlop coming off. Early involvement for the substitute number 17, Zach Mackay. Another involvement as well, so he's made an early impact. The fresh legs are working. Lindsay can't get there ahead of the ball running out over the end line as we enter the final 10 minutes of this one. As I mentioned earlier, a second Rangers goal really would finish it as a contest, you would suspect. But they'll be aware that a draw would be good enough for them anyway. So barring a collapse, Rangers will be heading for the semi-finals. GPS, as I mentioned, have been very organised, but just haven't really created enough up front to put the Scottish side under any real degree of pressure. Will that change though in the final quarter of this one? Here's Mackay. Happy enough to recycle possession and find Ewan. Now it's Strachan. Your flag was up. I think it was for the run of Allen through the middle. Mackay called in the defensive duties. They've actually started to peter out a little bit. Not as many opportunities as we would have expected, certainly in the early stages, but I suppose Rangers are getting the job done. They've got the bulk of possession and they've got that one goal cushion, which is the only important thing when you're battling for a place in the semi-finals. They move through the gears and find Lindsay. Yours in the middle, super ball though towards the back post instead. It was one of the substitutes, Hasnick, trying to latch on to it, but from a local perspective, Lindsay's looked very bright. Player of real quality. GPS. It's a searching ball. Trying to pick out the run of the substitute. Number 15, that's Juan Torres. I suppose the closest that GPS came to a goal was that outstanding stop from McConnell. Managed to push it round his post, following the effort from Severia. That's about as good as it got from a GPS perspective. So it looks like it's going to be 3 Rangers wins from 3. Unless things change in the final 7 minutes of this game. Allen charging forward, gets his head up. Hasnick's in the middle. He should have ended it. He should have ended it as a contest. Hasnick picked out brilliantly. You see what Allen was doing. Got his head up a couple of times, lifted it inside, and he was frustrated with that finish. Here's Egan. See the frustration of the substitute on this near side. He was throwing his head up to the skies. It's been a frustrating day though overall for GPS. Another couple of substitutions coming on for Rangers. Off goes Lindsay. On comes, well, I think it's 15, so off goes Lindsay and off goes Ewan. On comes number 15, Gavin Gallagher. And number 2 is also, well, number 2 is Harkness, who's been on from the start, so it we'll keep you up to date with that. Could well have been number 12 Webster, but we'll let you know. Very difficult to keep up to date with that. There is 12, so Webster is definitely on yet. Kristen Webster. Both managers decided to make multiple substitutions at the same time. As it's dragged back. Little bobble just before it arrived at Strachan, then lifted forward to Allen. His next attempt wasn't as clean as striking. It's away as far as Mackay, who's made an impact since coming on. Gives it away though on this occasion. And that ball's going to run through as far as the goalkeeper. He quickly bowls it out to Lovett. Here is Egan. Decent crossfield ball looking for Banks. So after so many games, this is the final match of the round robin stage. So many games at so many venues. Rangers, it looks like they're going to be through to the semi-finals. Quite a few of the spectators have decided to utilise the hills around the Scroggy Road complex instead. Somebody was also being dragged down there, I think, but it's Rangers who are dragging themselves through to the semi-finals. Quick throw it down the line, all the way back to the goalkeeper, McConnell. Major still keeping things going, still pushing for a second. I don't think they're going to need it, because even if they were to concede one goal, they'd still manage to go through. Two of the substitutes, Gavin Gallagher and Zach Mackay, getting things sorted out on the right hand side as Ure flicks it on. And out of play for another throw it. Ewan. Just to one of the identical twins. Still on the pitch at this stage. It's been a job well done by Rangers. They've been professional. It hasn't been exceptional, but they have they've gone about their job today professionally, although it's a mistake which almost led to an opportunity for GPS. It was a rare one from Harley Ewan. Just misjudged the bounce of the ball, and it almost let GPS hit at the other side. Last few seconds of this game, last few seconds of the round robin element of this tournament, but there's plenty more drama to come in the coming days as the silverware is handed out. Good challenge from the centre half, shifted forward, but to no avail, and that's pretty much been the story so far for GPS. They've battled well. They've shown glimpses of quality, but as we enter injury time, they just haven't clicked or produced enough in front of goal. The best moment coming from Silveria. Rangers' most important moment coming via the boot of Robbie Ure, scorer of the only goal here. And that goal is going to be enough to stand them through to the semi-finals, which will take place tomorrow. I don't think too many sides will relish the opportunity to take on this Rangers team. Ball just about stays in play. As a free kick goes the way of the Scottish side, following the challenge from Gavin Gallagher. Love is going to take his time. I would say the job has been done. Or perhaps continue to push for a second. Referee continues to play on. It's going to be a free kick this time for GPS. So one last opportunity for them to try and get something from this game. One last chance. Goalkeepers come all the way up. And that is probably not the highlight that he would have hoped for from that kind of position. McConnell on the other end produced that outstanding stop to ensure that GPS were held scoreless. Well, it looks like that is how it's going to end up, but will Rangers finding that for a second time? Their goal scorer, cuts inside, but it's a scuffed effort from Gallagher. Hit it first time, didn't really make the best of contacts. Don't think it's going to have too much consequence over the course of the game. Gallagher leaves and throwing for Love at the left back. An extra couple of minutes being played as a result of all those changes. There haven't been too many stoppages for injuries at any stage, so that will be that. Final whistle is blown. A 1-0 victory here for Glasgow Rangers. The one goal from that man, Robbie Ure, was enough. The Scottish side are through to the semi-finals. Handshakes all round. Here in Limavady, Rangers march on. Let's have a quick look at the table. So there's Rangers, top alongside Charlton. It was so impressive against Manchester United early on. Tyrone and the Pumas, the other two sides that progress into the last four. Four different nations marching on. And look at the bottom of the group as well. Poor old County Fermanagh, but probably the most astonishing of those names, Manchester United. 3 games played, no wins, 2 draws and 1 loss. Defeated today by Charlton Athletic. Disappointment for them after so many years when they've won silverware in this competition. Next up it's the Premier. So right to drink, comfortably through on goal difference, 7 points on top of Group A. County Down very unlucky though. Group B, that astonishing result at the Coleraine Showground. Celtic pegged back County Tyrone in the last few seconds to make it 3-3. Then, right at the death, Tyrone found a winner. That meant that they finished with 5 points. Celtic with 6. That won't be enough for the Scottish side to go through to the semi-finals. They will be so frustrated with